It's a party after all, people. Welcome to my live Dragonfly launch party. Okay, so welcome everybody. This is going to be exciting, and I've got a lot to share with you and a lot to celebrate with you. That is like the whole idea today. So I'm just so relieved and excited because this was a lot of work painting the dragonfly over the last month, or a little bit more than a month. So it was really challenging but a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and I'm here to share it with you all and to celebrate with you guys. So I thought I would start off this live by reading this beautiful poem by Daniela Norris. Let me just say that correctly. This is what she wrote about the dragonfly, just so that we are all on the same page. Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you, Purple. Welcome, Dora. Hi, Kayla. Okay, cool. Let me read you this poem. I can still only see a dragonfly, its wings as thin and light as silk, and its body the color of rainbow. But on the wings of this dragonfly, I take off and fly, for my soul carries no weight. It is our bodies, these borrowed vehicles of flesh and bone, that weigh us down. Our spirits are eternally free and invincible. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, really, this poem by Daniela Norris is it just encapsulates everything that I wanted to communicate through my painting on the dragonfly, and it really was a big starting point for me in creating this masterclass in acrylic painting with you guys. So this is really, really beautiful, and I shared it in my class with everyone as well. And I just wanted to start today's session as I welcome everybody into this launch party of the Dragonfly painting tutorial with me as your host, your guide, your teacher, and your coach. A lot of roles and responsibilities. So as we start this live today, I do have a few goals, and I hope you guys can help me with that. So one of my goals is to just get some love from my audience. So if you like what I'm offering today, this morning, it's not going to be too long, hopefully maybe just an hour or so. One of my goals is to complete this live and to have another tick on my live goals from TikTok as my chosen platform to share with you guys. And if you like what I share and have to say and offer you guys, please give me some love. Tell me where you're watching from, and if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. And I'm sort of seeing how everyone is joining. Hello everyone. Hello Solly. Hello Joss. It's so great to see you guys. So I'm just going to shout out to everyone as I have a moment to say hello. I also have another goal, and that is to grow my Patreon audience. At the present moment, I think I've got 31 subscribers. My channel is just over a year old, and I'm proud and grateful for each and every single one of you. Thank you guys for supporting my creative coaching career and for supporting my art and for having a lot of fun along with me. So I hope to grow my audience with at least 10 new subscribers. So if you're curious about all of my acrylic tutorials and painting tutorials and creative coaching offerings that I have, do check out my bio. There's a link in my bio that will take you to my Patreon channel, and you can check it out for yourself. So as we get into this, I'm just so excited because I used to have 11 classes, but now with the Dragonfly, I have 12 full tutorials on my Patreon channel. That's really exciting and a lot of work. So if you spend any time in front of the camera to produce content or to create classes for people, you know how much work goes into creating one of these, right? So let me just quickly share with you guys what is available on my Patreon channel. If you go there today, you will find there's already 11 classes available for you guys that you can dive in immediately. And I started off with Buddha for October. Some of you guys have joined me for Buddha for October in the last few years, and just painting beautiful Buddha images for meditation, personal development, and just playing, having fun with paint. And I think the Buddha face, which is so beautiful, really allows us a lot of opportunity for abstract painting. There's big fields of open space you can express yourself. So all of these Buddha painting classes include beautiful sort of processes like collage and multimedia, and it's really a lot of fun, and they are really beautiful. So do check it out. And then I also created a fabulous I Am a Dreamcatcher class. And in this class, we learn to paint what is it called? A dream catcher. But at the same time, we also discover ourselves to be dream catchers. And as human beings, we are here to follow our dreams, everyone. And as a coach, I encourage everyone to follow their dreams and to make them real. I think far too many of us procrastinate every day. We dream of getting into a creative practice. We dream of becoming an artist, or of just painting and enjoying painting and being able to express yourself freely with a paintbrush and with paint. But we sort of never get into it because there's some limiting beliefs there that is preventing us from plugging into our joy and expressing ourselves, right? So some of those limiting beliefs can be, I'm not creative, my sister is creative, or I'm not an artist, my aunt is an artist, right? We've all said that, and we've all heard that before. I think one of the limiting beliefs that I hear a lot as a creatively fit coach is, I cannot draw a stick figure to save my life. Are you one of those, perhaps? Then raise your hand. And as I say hello, hi Jody, thank you for tuning in. It's so nice to have some friends checking in. Liban, Akida, thank you for joining us. It's a lot of fun sharing with you guys. So I'm wearing this silly hat today because we're celebrating the Dragonfly, and of all the filters here on TikTok, I thought this one is closest to a dragonfly's face. I just need some wings here on the side to flap around. So we're all here to just celebrate and have a bit of fun today as we explore all of the exciting classes that I have. So next on my list on my Patreon is a magical unicorn painting. And if you've been watching some of my videos, you might have noticed my big unicorn painting behind me. So that's sort of where it started. So there's the unicorn painting class there. No Mud, No Lotus is a fabulous class if you're into lotus flowers, which I am. This is literally, oh, let me turn my arm. This is one of my tattoos on my arm, and it's also got a lotus, a beautiful mantra. So if you know me, you know that lotuses is a major theme in my life. But one of the things about lotuses that I find interesting, and this is where I sort of draw the metaphors as a coach towards the canvas, is that no mud, no lotus, right? So I like to sort of dive into this class and look at your circumstances in your life that you might label as difficult, challenging, problematic, or even unsurmountable. You know, this is all part of life. We all have our challenges, we all have our difficulties. And I just sort of, as a coach, I like to encourage people to look at those circumstances as possibility, as the mud in your life that is there to sustain you, and you can grow from that mud and become a beautiful lotus flower. So that is what we dive into while we are painting beautiful lotus flowers. So do check that one out as well. And then I've got two long-standing classes that's open and ongoing, and they are both there to just play and have fun, and that is the creative art journaling and also the activate your creative heart class. That's really a fun one. So really just open an art journal, express yourself. I give some prompts and ideas. We play with collage, jelly plate printing, you name it. Any media that I have around me, I throw at it, and it's quite a bit of fun. So check that out. And then I also have a still life abstraction that is ongoing in development, but there's plenty of episodes for you to enjoy. And then recently, I think it was August this year, we dived deep with Owl Wisdom. Now, I'm going to reveal the Owl Wisdom painting to you guys now. Before we get into the Dragonfly, I have to create some suspense, right? So this is my owl painting that we did in August, and I basically took everyone through this painting process, and we started on a black canvas. That was quite interesting. And what I did was I basically showed everyone how to use a black and white underpainting to create all of this detail that you see, all of the little feathers. And it just makes it so much easier, especially if you're a beginner painter in acrylic paint, to not get overwhelmed with too much detail, right? That can be hard. So by using just black and white, I was able to really plot all of the intricate little shapes, where the eyes need to be, where the beak needs to be. And then when that was dry, we dived into some color, just colored it in, like, almost like a coloring book. Easier than that you cannot get, guys. Come on. So if you want to learn how to paint your own owl like this, then you have to check out my Patreon channel. It's as simple as that. So the Owl Wisdom is an awesome class, as I put my painting to the side here, because we dive into owl wisdom. You know that the owl is always sort of metaphorically considered to be a wise animal from the forest, right? And it's got these beautiful big eyes that really sees in the dark. So as a coach, I like to play with the symbology and with the metaphors and draw that to your attention so that you can, while you're painting, sort of do a bit of introspection and check out your life and sort of just see, am I in alignment with my goals? And I think one of the scariest bits of personal growth is sometimes to just be honest with yourself, right? And to look at our shadow self, that aspect of us that is hidden, even to us sometimes. And here we sort of connect with habits, bad habits, choices, bad choices, the type of friends that you associate yourself with, all of these sort of things that can have an influence on your life, and maybe even you give your power away to those circumstances, choices, or habits, and then you wonder why you're not getting to your goals of your life, of your dreams, why you're not living the life of your dreams. So I find that owl helps us to sort of just look inwards a little bit and just become honest with ourselves. Where do we deceive ourselves? Where do we self-sabotage? Sounds familiar. But you know what I like about the painting aspect of coaching? If you go to a traditional coaching class, then you sort of have a lot of questionnaires to fill in and a lot of introspection to do, and that's all part about personal growth. I get that, and I love that, and I encourage that. But I find that most people that attend a traditional life coaching kind of situation might do 1 or 2 sessions with a coach. And then I find most people drop off, right off. Then the self-sabotage activates. We find excuses not to go to the third session. We find ways around all of those questionnaires, and we never sort of really look at them and be honest with ourselves. And I find one of the reasons for that is I think it's scary to be confronted with all of the aspects of our lives that we might not have given all the attention that we needed to. I mean, it's easier to fake it till we make it, right? Kind of thing. And it's easier to sort of just go with the flow. I mean, life is so demanding, right? We have work and we've got family and responsibilities, and oh yes, that holiday we have to go on. And we just seem to procrastinate a lot around personal goals and dreams. So by doing a creative coaching sort of practice with me, what I like is you, number one, gain some skills, you learn how to paint, you get familiar with your art supplies, and I'm there to support you all of the way. That's awesome, right? But while that is happening, in the process of creating art, what happens is we switch from our left brain, which is very analytical, very linear, very factual, and past based, and we switch over into our right brain, that part of us that is directly connected with our higher self, and you in tune with your emotions, and you start to sort of open yourself to the abstract language of your soul, which is symbology and metaphors and patterns and shapes, textures, colors, smells, sounds. All of your senses are involved. And when you tune into your senses, what happens is you become present, here and now, and all of a sudden you achieve the same mental state as that of somebody that is sitting and meditating. And that is an awesome thing for me, especially if you maybe also deal with ADHD or any other kind of challenges as far as concentration, focus, mindfulness, being still and find your inner zen. It's hard for some people, right? I mean, I know very few people that can sit still for longer than 10 minutes and, meditate. It's something that you have to learn and develop. And, some people find it easy and they sort of get there very quickly. Other people like me, it's hard to sit still for 10 minutes, hence the hyperactivity. But if I give my mind something to do, something to focus on, something that makes me excited, and that excites me is like color and playing with paint. If I give my brain something that is exciting to hook onto, I find that I can focus for longer periods of time, and I can get to that place within me where I access my inner zen. And that's why I love my creative practice. So I want to encourage you guys, if you've been thinking about learning how to paint, playing with paint, then I'm your guy. And then what I also have ready for you guys immediately after you dive into all of these pre-mentioned classes, there's also a 5-week creative jumpstart. Maybe you are totally new to all of this and you just have no clue. And maybe you have some packaging material hanging around. Maybe you've been buying Christmas gifts, and when the boxes and the bags arrive, there's plenty of sort of material that you can recycle, right? Otherwise your dustbin is going to be so full. So during this 5-week creative jumpstart, I show you guys how you can recycle some of that packaging material and create art. And you know what? You don't have to share it with the world. You can just do it for you, or you can make little gifts with it. So check out that 5-week creative jumpstart class. It is an easy way to sort of ease yourself into having a creative practice by having a little session with yourself once a week. I mean, really, I'm sure you can give yourself 30 minutes in a week, just to play with some art supplies and see what will happen. I mean, really, Then there's also the 15 secrets to composition. That one is quite interesting, especially if you want to just get to know a little bit more about composition and art, because this can really help you guys to have a better result faster, understanding the secrets of composition. And then there's also the 7 elements of design. I had quite a bit of fun with that one. And I also took each of these elements of design. As a coach, it's my job to do that metaphoric comparison. And I like to use that as we play and learn about art, to just look at your life as well and sort of just bring that in on the side. And it's amazing what happens when you have those little flashes of insight and little moments of recognition through maybe a question that I pose and that's in the class, and you go, oh, I haven't thought about this. Yes, actually, I need to give myself a little bit more grace, be a little bit more kinder to myself, practice self love and self care. It makes it a lot easier to give it to strangers when you've practiced to give it to yourself first, right? Maybe that's a new concept for you, but it's something that I encourage with my Patreons, is to practice everything on ourselves first. And to have a creative practice is a fantastic way to give yourself a little bit of love and kindness and respect and just, acceptance. You can see TikTok has decided to change my hat. Tell me what you think. Which is your favorite hat? So I'm going to try and change it again. Let me touch the screen. There we go. Back to the Dragonfly. Let's see who's joined us. Hello everyone. It's so nice. Hello Joe. Thank you for joining us. I can't see all the names. They're a bit lighter. And some of them are handles, which is difficult to pronounce. But thank you for watching. Tell me where you're watching from. Give me some love. And also, if you have any questions, don't be shy. I don't bite, I promise. So drop me a comment. Drop me a question. If I see it while I'm sharing here, I'll attempt to answer it as well for you guys. Okay. And now we're coming to the Dragonfly. You guys, this was an amazing class for me. Not just, I put myself through everything that I put my coaching clients through, in the sense that I have to figure these things out for myself before I expect my Patreons or my coaching clients to, fulfill as well. So in filming the class, what happens is I put myself through each of these layers, and I discover problem areas in the painting, and I try to find solutions around that so that I can share it with you guys so that you have it easier. So this was a journey of, I think, nearly 8 weeks, maybe a little bit less. Plenty of recording time, never mind all of the editing that had to go into it. But I found myself in moments of bliss when I was painting this landscape, forgive me, and I was really enjoying painting the orchids. I mean, a field of orchids, how amazing is that, right? So not only will you learn how to paint a dragonfly, but you'll also be doing a landscape and sort of learn how to develop a landscape, starting at the back, working forwards. And this beautiful, beautiful orchid field, I enjoyed every minute of it because I enjoy painting flowers. And I think it's an absolute highlight in the class. And then we got to the dragonfly, and I felt like I'm flying here. And so many beautiful new opportunities came my way during the painting and making of this class that I definitely grabbed with both hands, because it's sort of part of the journey of the dragonfly, is to recognize that there's a field of possibilities around us. But when I started painting the dragonfly, I suddenly hit a wall. It was like, oh my word, this is so hard. And the day I started to paint these wings was a particularly challenging day for me. It was really just one of the days where my all of my sort of mental challenges is activated, and it was really difficult for me to focus and concentrate on all of these little intricate details on the wings. And I remember, and I guess you guys will notice during that episode when I just started painting the wings, that it feels like an overwhelming task all of a sudden. I think when I started the dragonfly, it was like, oh, this is going to be quick. It's the dragonfly, it's four wings, and the painting's done, basically, because we spent so much time preparing this beautiful field of possibility for the dragonfly. And then it hit me. Everything that I've been sharing with you guys during the making of that class, all of the questions and introspection and realization that I had, all came together for me while I was dealing with the wings and all of the detail. And I really had to push myself and challenge myself in order to make this work, because I've made a commitment, right? This is one of my goals. And if you want to work on your goals, sometimes things don't always work out. Some days things are a little bit easier, other days there's a little bit more challenges. And this dragonfly came to teach me all about manifestation. And one of the things I realized during the painting process of this is that manifestation actually is very easy, it's very simple. It's not a complicated process. And I think the most amazing realization I had about manifesting our goals, our dreams, and our intentions is not just to create a vision board for ourselves, stick it on the wall, write some positive affirmations, speak them out loud during moments of inspiration or desperation, depending on the situation, right? And then with wishful thinking, hoping that your vision will just, magically appear in your life. But for a lot of people, that is exactly where things fall flat on their face, right? It's not that easy. I mean, trust me, I've been trying to manifest winning the lotto for many years. Who knows? Maybe it will happen one day. But I'm talking about manifestation from this point of view, that we manifest the things in our life that help us the most. And it becomes easy to manifest those things when we align our vibration, all of our faculties. We make sure that we show up in a way that is supportive of our goal. So it is not that hard, but it is a few things that you have to sort of take into consideration. Number one, your attitude. How do you show up? Is it in alignment with your goal? Or are you complaining or doing the opposite of what you want on your goal? Hey, I got a new hat! And also then to make sure that you have the right attitude and mental alignment with your goal. In other words, everything that you do, the steps you take every day, the choices you make every day, the words that you speak, even the thoughts that you think, if you align all of these with your goal and your dream, I promise you, it becomes so much easier, because all of these things need to be in alignment in order for instant manifestation to happen. And when these things are in alignment, when we are congruent, when we are authentic, and we are showing up with the right attitude that is helpful towards manifesting our goals and our dreams, magical things begin to happen. But when we procrastinate and we sit on the couch and we practice wishful thinking, it can sort of give our mind the idea that we are working on our goals and dreams. So I sort of compare that a lot with New Year's resolutions. So let's talk about that for a second. How many of you like to have New Year's resolutions? Come on, be honest. And you go to that fabulous old year New Year's party, and the champagne is popping and the fireworks is going and the music is playing and everyone is happy that this year is finally over. And yes, the new year is finally here. And how many times do you hear this conversation that starts like this? I sure hope next year is going to be a better year than this year. And then what do we do about that? For most people, it's a quick wishful thinking list of I'm going to lose 10 kilograms, I'm going to go to the gym more, I'm going to spend more time with family and friends, I'm going to go on more holidays. The list is long and endless. You know how that sounds. And by the 10th of January, when we are back at work and we get back on the hamster wheel of normal Monday to Friday living, all of these goals and wishful thinking that we had at the New Year's party seems to sort of fizzle and drizzle away. And before we realize it, it's the middle of the year and we've done absolutely nothing about our goals and dreams. Maybe we've gone to the gym once, that kind of thing. And then we get to the end of the year and we're exhausted and we're overwhelmed and there was challenges and difficulties and changes that we didn't anticipate in our year, that wasn't forecasted, right? And what have we done about our goals? Nothing or very little. And then we start to sort of whip ourselves with a whip. We tend to sort of be hard on ourselves and say, oh, I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, this is not happening for me. It's just so much easier just to be on the hamster wheel and do the Monday to Friday living for the weekend, and then we call that a life. And guess what happens? By the end of the year, the same process repeats itself. We do some introspection, we look in the review mirror and we realize, oh my word, I still haven't really done much about living my dreams and building a life of my dreams. And so we rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And in the end, 10 years later, we call that a life. But that's not a life, people. Life is too short, and the dragonfly came to teach me exactly that. Now, why do I say that? The dragonfly has a very short lifespan. It starts its life as a water nymph and is born on or near water. And it goes through a whole transformation from a little water living insect to one that gets wings, that is airborne, that has incredible abilities. Did you know that the dragonfly is one of the oldest insects on the planet? That's amazing. Even though it has a very short adult lifespan, it only lives a few months. And that's really sad. But here's the metaphoric message that I drew from the dragonfly. Do not procrastinate. Do not wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow isn't promised. So take hold of every opportunity that you have every single day and make the most of it, because you don't know if you're going to live to a ripe age of 85. You might die tomorrow, you might die in 2 years' time. And I know that sounds morbid, and this is supposed to be a party, right? But here's the thing, tomorrow isn't promised, so there really is no time to procrastinate. There's no time to waste in loving yourself, being kind to yourself, and living the life of your dreams. Give yourself permission today to do just that with the dragonfly. Now, okay, I know you guys have tuned in to see the final painting and I'm going to share it with you now. So let's get into that. So I'm going to show you guys quickly. I'm just moving my hat out of the way. And here you go, you guys. This is the finished piece. I'm going to bring it closer for you guys so you can also see all of the beautiful detail that I created on this canvas. This field of orchids, isn't it just too beautiful? And you might ask me, so what are these spheres in the sky? And I sort of named them, what did I call them? Spheres of possibility. It's like when we tune into quantum physics, teach us that there is a multiverse out there. And that somewhere out there, there is a universe where you exist, an identical copy of you, that have already achieved the goal that you have today. Somewhere out in this universe, there's an aspect of you that has already mastered the thing that you are attempting to begin in this lifetime. That's very interesting. And you are connected to all of these multiverse universes out there. You have the ability, or your soul is connected to all of this. So I'm trying to make this very simple. So somewhere out there, there's an aspect of you that have already mastered and triumphed over the problem or difficulty that you're facing now. And you are able, when you become present and you become quiet and you really focus in on your higher self, to connect with that aspect of yourself that has already successfully achieved that goal, is already living that dream. And when you connect that aspect of your soul with that part of yourself, you are able to draw on that wisdom, you are able to draw on that energy and insight in order to make it happen in this reality as well. So all of these spheres are also, talking about momentum, movement, ascension, and we are able to recognize that there are a multitude of possibilities. So I call it a field of possibility, and you are able to plug into that and recognize that you are already triumphant. That is so amazing. Spreading your own wings to fly or to rise above any challenges that you have. Now, one of the things that the Dragonfly bring is an incredible perspective, because you are able to fly high, right? So when you have a big perspective, or you can see the big picture of how you fit into the grand scheme of things, that is really empowering. So I guide you guys through the painting process to some of these questions, and that will help you dive deep within yourself while you are challenging yourself at the canvas. Now, coming back to that whole coaching session thing, instead of confronting you with a list of endless questions that might feel like an exam, and I think that's why a lot of people then abandon ship, because it might make you feel like you are not living your life at all. And I think that feeling of not sort of having everything under control is what makes a lot of people abandon ship then with traditional life coaching. And this is why I like this process, because there's something that you invest into painting something beautiful and creating something beautiful and learning a new painting technique. And when you see that through, psychology teaches us that there is a dopamine, serotonin payoff reward that you get when you finish something that you started. There is just something amazing. I think that's why a lot of people that go to gym and that really is focused and dedicated on their physical health goals, when they achieve that goal, they've gone to gym 7 times a week and they've reached their ideal weight, and they can pick up that heavy thing and they look like Tarzan or whatever. There is a payout that you get out of that. There is a dopamine, there is a serotonin, there's just a reward endorphin release in your brain that happens, and this makes you commit to more. So the same goes for art, the same goes for having a creative practice. So get into that, because I am sure on a high after painting this painting, and I've learned so much about myself. I've gained a lot of brush miles and experience in my art. So I haven't studied art as the traditional routes for going to art college or art school. University did not open for me. And deep inside my soul, I know that being creative, being an artist, is actually sort of my life purpose. And it was part of this life's plan all along. But even though these doors did not open for me in the traditional sense, it is sort of my own mud that I was planted in. So my circumstances were unique in that. But I had to get to a place in my life where I realized that this hamster wheel, living from Monday to Friday, so we have a bit of a weekend to be happy, was not working for me. I was feeling like I'm not living the life that I was supposed to. Something was missing. My soul kept, directing my attention to the fact that I'm not creating and I'm not, being the artist of my life that I'm called to be. So at one stage, that sort of, I call it almost like a bat that's in a tight bat. At some stage, it just comes to a point where it cannot stay closed anymore. And the only way forward is to just break the shell open and begin to bloom. And for me, that moment was when I realized, you know what? I'm giving all my personal power away. I'm giving it away to employers. I'm giving it away to circumstances that, doesn't have real power over me, but I perceive it to be powerful and in control of me. It was a huge awakening for me that I realized I'm not a tree. If I'm not happy where I'm planted, I can move. I can make different choices and I can start to channel my life in the direction where I am happy because time is running out. We're not young forever. And I know exactly what procrastination looked like and the impact that that made on my life. It didn't feel good. It didn't make me happy. It constantly made me feel like I'm stuck in a rut and I didn't know how to break free from it. So it was a powerful moment the day I realized that I can claim my power back. I can make new choices and I can set new boundaries for myself and I can begin to empower myself and live the life of my dreams. Does my life look exactly like I sort of envisioned it to look? No, because I think that manifestation also looks different to the way that we imagine it. I think it's good to visualize, it's good to have an idea of what it might look like, but more important is how it will feel. How will it feel when you live the life of your dream? That is the secret. And I feel exactly the way I hoped it would feel in fulfilling my wish, in putting in all the effort that I'm putting in to make the life of my dreams come true. So yes, it doesn't always show up the way that we want it to. Sometimes we envision it with a red bow and then it shows up with a multicolored blue, purple polka dot bow, and then we don't recognize when it shows up in our life even better than we could possibly envision it. How many times do you think you initiate something in your life with a wish and an intention and taking the action steps towards that, and it shows up in your life, but it looks completely different, and then you still go, no, this is not it, this is not it, it still hasn't happened, and you allow those opportunities to fly past. It happens a lot. Let me just get my proper hat back on. There we go. So I guess what I'm trying to say to you guys is I'm so excited to share the beautiful energy of the dragonfly with you guys through a painting tutorial that will help you recognize maybe where you tend to procrastinate about your goals and dreams in your life, and it will help you to realign your focus, your intention, your energetic vibration, and to focus on the essence of what it would feel like when you achieve your goal. That absolute sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose, happiness, and a cup that overflows and it empowers you to share with people around you. So that is just so exciting. So some of my personal insights that I gained was absolutely wonderful, because early on in this class, I'm going to encourage you guys to do a little bit of a water ritual with me. Seeing that the dragonfly is connected with the water element as well as the air element, these two elements connects us. The water connects us with our emotions, our emotional body, and the air element connects us with our mental faculties, and the two of them together is all about creativity. So what I did, and you will see this when you do the class with me, is I drew on the actual elements. So I literally got water, and we created a beautiful sort of ritual ceremony where we sort of write our intentions and our goals down, and we place it in this water, and we add some salt to that, because salt is an amazing magnifier and a magnetizing field, because there's metals in salt. So we do this beautiful ritual, and I'll show you guys. And what was interesting for me during my sort of own ritual and creating my own little intentions and putting myself through that beautiful ritual journey as a way to start this painting, it was so profound, because like I said, this dragonfly painting deals with a field of possibility and opening yourself up to a field of possibility, because I think sometimes we get to a point in our life where we think this is it, right? We will have our work, we have our family, we have our pets, we have the life that we live, and it almost seems like that is the totality of what life is going to be, right? And then a lot of ideas, a lot of inspiration and opportunity comes knocking on your door, but because you are closed, your mind isn't open to the field of possibility, what happens is we stay stuck. So when I opened myself through this painting process to the field of possibility, I promise you a floodgate of inspiration and opportunities and ideas presented itself to me. But because I was aware, I opened myself to become aware when these possibilities show up in my life. I was able to grab all of it and to pin it down and to see how this is going to help me going forward. So I'd like to share some of that with you guys. So I got new exhibition space that was presented to me, and next year during the month of May, from the 5th to the 10th of May, I'll be exhibiting my work at 28 Degrees East, which is out in on the Camille Drift Road, and I will share a little bit more about that in the coming year. But this opportunity to exhibit in a whole new space will give me exposure to a whole new audience, and I'm just so grateful that this arrived during this time while I was painting the dragonfly. Another opportunity that came to me is to start a print on demand business. I'm really going to spend December in creating some fabulous products, because I mean, who doesn't want to have a cup with a beautiful dragonfly on it, or maybe what is the other thing, an apron or a t-shirt, or maybe a key ring, something that is useful for you, and you might want to have your version of the dragonfly, and it's going to be for sale on a print on demand kind of business. So I'm going to spend some time in December setting up shop and creating beautiful products that you can order and enjoy along with me. So that's an excellent growth opportunity that came our way. So this is also exciting because I've got a group coaching session scheduled for February, all because of this painting and talking about it and sharing about it. So coming February, I'm going to have a beautiful class. It's already booked out and filled up to the brim. But I had to say yes, and that's the whole thing. I had to open my heart and open my mind to the field of possibility. And when these opportunities arrive, not to stand back and play small and say, I'm not good enough yet. I don't think I'm worthy, or I don't know if I can handle that. Just say to yourself, I know you can. Life is presenting you with this opportunity. You called it forth. Here it's arriving. Now it's time to show up for the party, right? So that's so cool. So more possibilities that open for me because of this painting is also getting clarity about 2025 and where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to approach my beautiful new platforms like here on TikTok, YouTube, and on my Patreon. So one of the things I am planning for next year, I've already qualified here on TikTok for subscribers, and there's already things that you can enjoy there if you subscribe to my TikTok channel. So to give some diversity, because there should be a reason for you to belong to my Patreon as well as my TikTok subscriptions, right? So diversity is what it's going to be all about. So for my TikTok subscribers, I'm going to focus in on acrylic ink and watercolor and gouache. And for my YouTube channel, I'm going to focus in a lot more on my art journal and multimedia for that, like collage. And then for my Patreon channel, I'm going to be focusing a lot more on this coaching kind of relationship with beautiful imagery and symbology that we're going to paint, that we will use as a coaching metaphor. So there's some clarity for each of my sort of platforms and what I will be focusing on for 2025. So that is really, really exciting. Okay, so let me just quickly check here on my list. Are you guys enjoying this? Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me. Let me just change my hat. I don't know why TikTok keeps wanting to give me that Magnolian hat, but anyway, here I am with my Dragonfly hat again. This is so cool. So I wanted to just share some of the questions that I have during my Dragonfly painting class, because the Dragonfly is tied intimately with our emotional body. And I want to just share with you maybe some of the questions that you can explore during your Dragonfly painting. And here's some of these questions, like, what feelings are you having that you are hiding? Hiding for others, hiding from yourself, feelings that you are suppressing, that you are not acknowledging. And while we're talking about feelings, I think feelings is quite an interesting topic, because it's this emotional side of our being can be so complex, right? And I think in our Western world, we have this idea that certain feelings are acceptable and good and some feelings are not. And it's sad in that sense, because I think it's because so many feelings get repressed and suppressed and denied that we have the expression of that in our world in violence and in anger and in confrontation that is destructive. And I think there's a much more productive way to deal with our emotions, and that is to become familiar with it, to sit with it, to feel it, and not to want to push it away, but to try and understand it and to try and figure out what is beneath this expression of emotion. What am I really needing? What need of mine is not fulfilled? And this is why I'm feeling like this. And to understand that as adults, we are empowered to give to our inner child and our inner being everything that we need. We don't have to wait for other people to fulfill what it is that we need. We don't have to find approval or acknowledgement from outside of ourselves. So this painting class is all about discovering, giving yourself everything that you need, and to fulfill yourself and to be honest with yourself and to get familiar with yourself, to get to know yourself a little bit more, because in that lies wisdom and a lot of power. So another question we can explore is, what feelings are self-created illusions? That's quite powerful, because I think we tend to tell a story about our lives. We tell ourselves the story and we tell others the story. And depending on which light you put yourself in that story, and you can pay attention to that, because sometimes we can tell the same story to different people and the story or the narrative might slightly change. So become aware of that. Do you put yourself as a victim in your story? Are you victimized? In that moment that you tell a story about your life where you put yourself as the victim, you give your power away. And it might be that you were a victim in a situation. I mean, this is complex and it will be different for everyone, but the power lies in understanding that that story that we tell about our lives can become our truth. And the story can be changed. The narrative can be changed. The way that we portray ourselves in that story certainly can change. And you always have a choice to put yourself either as the victim or the victor. And without boasting or without, playing super small, I think it comes back to being authentic, real, and to maybe recognize that particular incident in our life that we keep telling ourselves we are the victim. We can change that by revisiting that story and giving yourself a little bit of a different perspective to see from a higher perspective. Looking down at it, we can change that story and say, okay, that is maybe how I experienced it and perceived it, and I allowed my own biases and perception to sort of be the lens that I perceive that whole experience or situation through. But coming from a different angle, a higher perspective, in other words, rising above it, we can elevate ourselves out of those circumstances and begin to tell a different story that is empowering, and that changes your life. It is a radical, radical shift. So that is my question to you. What of your feelings are a story that is created through self-illusion? And then another question that's powerful is, what feelings do you need to explore more deeply? What does that say to you? What comes up for you? So these are great things to art journal, write in your art journal about, and while you are painting the dragonfly, allow your realizations to just come to you. It's not, it's magic in that sense that you might explore a question, you might be painting, and then you lying on your bed, you're going to sleep, or you just have a tea moment one day, and all of a sudden you're in this quiet space, you're present, and you have a realization, an aha moment, an enlightening moment, and then you realize how all of these things fit together, and that is a magical moment to experience indeed. I don't want to miss anything. Oh, yes. I wanted to show you guys this beautiful deck that I'm playing with currently. Let me put it in front of my hat. It is a beautiful deck by Colette Baron Reed, and it's a spirit animal oracle. So I started playing with this when we a few months back, and that's exactly where I got the owl inspiration from to start. So what I did, I ordered this online, and I decided to begin to use these cards as inspiration for a possible painting class, because I love the symbology of each of these animals. And I mean, you can work with any animal, any symbol around you that you find meaningful and purposeful. But because there's such a rich field of information about each animal or insect, there is always some truth that you can metaphorically draw into your life and look at your life from that perspective. So that's exactly what I do in this new series of mine. So that is exactly from this deck where I then got the Owl Wisdom card from, and this is where the owl painting was sort of initiated and all of the beautiful information that she shared. And after that class I drew the Dragonfly Spirit, and that's the card that initiated this Dragonfly class. And that beautiful message that came with that was truth transcends illusion. Really powerful. So drum roll. I see that TikTok is going to give me my little, what do you call this, a puzzle to make sure that I'm actually here and sharing with you guys and not just live and letting the camera roll and I'm off running in the garden. So I just passed that test. So drum roll, I want to basically reveal to you my next class that I'm going to start preparing for early in January. Now, did you guys know what year will be 2025? Now, this year is the year of the dragon, according to the Chinese astrology, and 2025 is the year of the snake. I see everyone running away already. No, not really. I know that the snake is one of those animals that people have an inborn fear for. But I think this is another good example of looking at the metaphors, because the snake can both be the poison as well as the medicine. So there's this interesting, what's that big word? It's on the tip of my paradox. There's the word I'm looking for. It's paradoxical. It's both death and life. It's both transformation. It's just a powerful, powerful animal. So this is the next card that I drew from this deck, and it is all about snake spirit. And the main message of the snake is it's time to heal, because if you look at medical symbology, you will always see snakes sort of on or part of that design, and it's sort of been part as a symbol for medicine for centuries, interestingly enough. So if a snake bites you, just as an example, the antivenom is made from the very poison that is now in your body. So they need the same snake's poison in order to make the antibody. So this paradoxical aspect about the snake is what we are going to explore early January as we get into an acrylic painting with a snake, and we'll see how we're going to play that and what we're going to create as far as our reference materials is concerned. But I think it is a powerful, powerful animal in order to paint, in order to do some personal growth, connect with your inner resilience, and we will focus in a lot on healing. Where can we heal? In our emotions, in our mental state, in our body, in our attitude, healing from past trauma that is preventing us from stepping into the life of our dreams. All of these things can come together under the umbrella and focus with this beautiful, powerful symbol of the snake. So that is something to look forward to for 2025. I sort of like to stay in the moment in the sense of only drawing the next one that is coming up. So I didn't know until this morning that that is the card that I'm going to draw. So this is a beautiful trilogy that we have here with the owl, the dragonfly, and the snake coming up next. So that is going to be powerful, just so that you guys know exactly what to look forward to in 2025. So I thought I would share just a little bit, not everything, that Colette Baron Reid said about the snake. that just helps me to reiterate that this is all about healing and nothing to be afraid of. So her oracle message said that all of us need healing at times, and when snake spirit appears, it is time to repair, renew, and replenish yourself and your vulnerable heart. Self-care and maintenance work are needed so that your vitality can arise. Give yourself the space to nourish your own well-being. That's all I'm going to share about the snake for now. So that's going to be exciting. So if you guys join my Patreon today, you will see there's already 3 episodes of the Dragonfly all ready to roll for you. And then it's almost like an advent calendar. There will be a new episode for the Dragonfly available every day for the month of December up until December 23rd. So by December 23rd, 2024, the entire class of the Dragonfly would have been released to my Patreons. But like I said, there's so much to dive into. So maybe pick one and start, exploring and having some fun there. And now you also know what I'm planning for 2025. So 12 full collections is available for you guys. So let's talk about the 2 tiers on Patreon. I have my free tier. So for the free tier, you're able to subscribe to my Patreon absolutely for free. And there are some free benefits for you guys. So you guys that on the free tier will have access to all of the free episodes that I launch. But I think it's from episode 3 onwards to completion of the class, you need to upgrade yourself to the paying tier. Now the paying tier is only $5. That's like 95 Rand for those of you that live in South Africa. So it's not a lot. I mean, the average painting class with a teacher live will cost you anything from 250 Rand and more per class. And if you do attend a physical class with me, I charge 350 Rand for a 3-hour session, and then all of these things are included. So if you go to my Patreon, what I like is that you can paint on demand. You can basically decide what you want to watch, what collection you want to focus on, and you can start your own journey in your own pace, in your own time. And all I do is I encourage my patrons then to take a photograph of their progress of that particular class or episode, video, share it on that video, or any questions that you have, you can share beneath that video. That also helps future patrons that might struggle with the same idea or challenge that you faced, and they can see, oh, somebody else had a similar challenge and this is how they resolved it, or this is how they overcame it, this is how they rised above it, and that become sort of part of that school, and the community is as important as my actual coaching. So we have a beautiful community over there. You also have access to my community chat on Patreon. That's only for my paying patrons. So that is where I can give you personal support, and you can find some support from the fellow artists. But you are always also welcome to direct message me or email me. All of that information is on the classes. If you want some personal coaching from me or assistance, I'm always there for you guys. So that is what you have access to. That's really exciting. Absolutely exciting. Okay, so checking in on my guest list here. I guess I've run through everything I wanted to share with you guys. I wish I could play some music and put some fireworks and everything, but I'll maybe edit this one a little bit before I share it with my patrons that's not able to join me live for this class, and make it a little bit more party-like. But there's a last question that I wanted to share with you guys, and as I get my proper Dragonfly hat on here again, and that question would be, I wrote it down here, let me share it with you guys. So somebody asked me, what does your Dragonfly painting say to you If your dragonfly painting could speak, what would it say to you? So let's get the dragonfly out here. What does my dragonfly painting say to me? Absolutely, take some risks. Don't be so scared. Everything sorts it out as we go. 99% of the things we stress about and fear never happens. So it's okay. Um, Give yourself the permission to try and break down your goals into bite-sized bites and work through these small little goals one at a time, and one by one, as you fulfill them, your dream becomes manifest. And I think the biggest message that I had from my own dragonfly painting is that tomorrow isn't promised. Stop procrastinating, just do it. Just start. Everything else that you stress about will take care of itself all on its own. So, how did the dragonfly come into my life? Well, actually, it wasn't by the card. We live near a field and there is some water there. So in my environment where I live, there's a lot of dragonflies. So this particular Sunday morning, I was out in the garden and this incredible orange dragonfly was flying around the garden. I was just observing it, and it was interesting because dragonflies can be quite social, so they like to come up close to you and sort of almost look you in the eye. And I realized, that is such a cool insect, and I must, explore a little bit more about the dragonfly and see how we can use that. And then I think it was that Monday after that, this deck of cards arrived, and I was already busy with the owl then. And I did a drawing in that session with the owl, and then the dragonfly came up again. So that's now synchronicity because I'm already aware of this insect in my life, and now through the deck of cards, it arrived one more time. And then before I started recording, I actually got busy a little bit with life. There was my exhibition, the launch of the owl, and a lot of other things that happened. And it almost felt to me like the dragonfly was slipping away from me again because I didn't get into it immediately. And then one Sunday morning, I woke up and my husband said, there's a dragonfly trapped in our glass pagoda outside, a little glass shed. And it almost looks like mirror panels, so the dragonfly can't get out because it can't see the glass, but it's preventing it from escaping. So I came to help him, and in the end, because we don't want to hurt it, we used a sieve and we covered it so that we can just coach it down and out. And it was so amazing. The minute it flew out, and it flew over the glass pagoda to the other side, and it came right back, and it almost like looked me in the eye, hovering in front of me. It's almost like it said, "Thank you, I appreciate that," and it flew off. And for me, the message that moment was, I must stop procrastinating. I must start filming my dragonfly class immediately. So I got everything ready and I started the next day. And here we are. The dragonfly painting is finished. The class is rolling. It's available immediately. And this is what I'm going to teach you guys, how to paint in acrylic paint. You learn all of these beautiful techniques and methods. I guide you one brush stroke at a time to your completion. And obviously, everybody's dragonfly is going to look completely different to mine. Oh, come on, TikTok. Even though there's reference material for you to download that you should download and you should use in order to guide you, it's like a map through this whole process. I encourage everyone that does this class with me to make it their own. Make every brush mark your own. I constantly say throughout the class, we are not Minolta machines. We are not photocopy machines. We are artists. And for me, the process is far more important than the end product. So give yourself some encouragement there. I'm excited to see you over my Patreon, and links will be in my bio, and I will add them also to the description of this video later. So thank you everybody for joining me in my launch party of the Dragonfly acrylic painting tutorial. I hope to see you guys over on my Patreon real soon, and thank you for spending some time with me, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you guys coming in the future. So you guys must have a fantastic holiday season. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye bye for now.